Alright, welcome back to the channel, Mr Sly aka Sly Pro Max, and I've got an announcement. Gentlemen, you need to open your eyes. Something dangerous is happening quietly in Nigeria. Recently, the federal government tax reforms chairman Professor Taiwo has said, if you are a runs girl, if you be Olosho, if you are rendering a service, therefore you are liable to pay tax. Let's see this article here. It says, Nigerians into sex work runs to pay tax going forward. Oyedele. President Bola Tinubu's tax chairman or something, Taiwo, says all Nigerians, including ladies engaging in prostitution, popularly called runs, are mandated to pay tax per the new tax reforms to be enforced in January. Now, think carefully about this, guys. The government is saying they don't care if you are doing prostitution. They don't care if prostitution is legal or illegal. As long as money is being exchanged, they want their share. Guys, that is not just taxation. That's silent recognition. And recognition is the first step to legalization. Let's get into this. Now let's watch this video of the man saying what he was saying. Roll the tape.
You earn a certain amount of money and you have to send upkeep to your cousin, your brother, or even a stranger. It doesn't really matter. If the amount you're sending to someone is money you are giving to them for, how do I explain it? It's not because they have done something for you, right? Yeah, so it's a gift. Yeah, thank you, like a gift. We say non-exchange transaction. You give someone because they did something for you, then that's not taxable. It is you that should have paid tax before giving them a gift. But if the person is rendering a service, and there's this, extreme example that you probably should not even say in a church, but just to bring it home. If you're doing, if somebody is doing wrong girls, right? They go and look for men to sleep with. That's a service. They will pay tax on it. See why I did not want to use the example before. One thing about the tax law is it does not separate between whether what you're doing is legitimate or not. It doesn't even ask you. It just asks you whether you have an income. Did you get it from rendering a service or providing a good? You pay tax. So if you give upkeep to anyone, they're free. They won't pay tax on it.
Alright, so what this man is doing is he's explaining the whole tax reforms coming in next year. I want to tell you this. The moment taxation comes into a situation that equates to recognition, taxation equals recognition. The moment government begins to tax an activity, it no longer sees it as a crime. It becomes an economic activity. Today, it's him saying runs girls is a service. Tomorrow, it's going to be sex work is work. We've seen that in America already. Slowly, we have this stigma against runs girls, this stigma against coming out to say, oh, Olosho, this, that, Asha baby, all these kind of things. We see it disappearing. We see it being wiped away. Someone's going to ask Mr. Sly, where is the foundation for this your conclusion? Let us go back to Lagos State. I did a video previously where I said that, look at Lagos. They gave an ambassadorial role to a woman who calls herself the president of Olosho. They gave an ambassadorial role to a woman who came out to say she was going to sleep with 100 men in one day. Think about that. A state that should be protecting morality is now rewarding someone who promotes prostitution. This is how normalization works. First, they tolerate it, then they celebrate it, then they legislate it. And now, all of this happening, all of this going on is slowly destroying the fabric of society. It is slowly attacking the cultures and values. What am I saying? Nigeria is a very religious country. It's a very, very religious country. So we have Christianity, we have Islam in it. And we all agree that Christianity does not accept prostitution, neither does Islam. Yet, the government is now saying, it's okay, just pay tax. This is not just about revenue, guys. This is about destroying the culture that has made Nigeria what it is. They are preparing the younger generation to see prostitution as normal. And this is exactly how the whole progressive movement from the West began to move from shame to pride. Now, let's look at something in Nigeria. Yahoo boys, for an example. Some way, somehow, they pay tax, and I'll explain to you somehow. We have different types of tax. You are paying VAT, for instance. You get money to your account. You are getting some of it taxed out by the bank, taken out, transferred to the FIRS, as the case may be. The banks are collecting charges on your transaction as a G-boy who collect money. But what we also see is that EFCC goes out to arrest those same Yahoo boys. The EFCC goes out and parades them, telling the whole world, telling Nigerians, we do not condone fraud. And that is lovely. But now, let us just oppose it with this statement made by this man. And now, we see that where tax is now being imposed on Ashawo work, but at the same time, we are not seeing all these Ashawo babes being raided, paraded, picked up, shown on the internet that stop prostitution. We are not seeing it. And when you do it, we see feminist society come out to say, why will you go and arrest them? Release these ladies. That is what we see. So we are not seeing these women being arrested and paraded to show we do not accept prostitution. Rather, these women are walking about freely in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day, at ShopRite in Asaba, flexing. Let me show you this video from Lekki. It says, latest update from Orchid Road, Lekki. Road the tape.
Jesus, aqua. Orchid girls. I think say sharp OS for Orchid, no be Jais. Jesus, aqua.
Now, obviously, I saw all of this when I was in Lagos last month when we went for the holiday. If you watch my vlogs, I saw all of this. But I will not pick up a phone to start recording them. But this brother, now you know it in the warrior. But what we see is we see a sort of audacity with people coming out to showcase this same thing. And now, we now see a subtle recognition by the government saying, yes, do your business, just pay us tax. Somehow, this begins to look like a mafia-run organization whereby they will pimp out girls, tell them do your thing, and then just pay us our own fee. This is we, once again I say, legalizing and recognizing prostitution. Guys, let me tell you something. This is not an accident. This is a big global agenda. When prostitution becomes normal, what happens? Men lose discipline. Women see selling their bodies as empowerment. Families collapse and children grow without structure. Because you cannot tell me that a prostitute who has a child is married in a happy marriage and going out there to prostitute. So what happens? That child who was meant to grow up in a stable family ends up becoming just out there, father and mother apart, the mother doing her business, paying her tax, and nobody to see to the growth of that child. So what do we have? We begin to have weak families, and that means we have a weak society, and the weak society is very easy to control. That is the bigger game plan. But men must learn a red pill truth, because make Nigeria great again. That is why I'm here. Legalization of prostitution will not benefit men. Because as a man thinking, oh, it go benefit me. Legalization of prostitution will not benefit men. Women will be celebrated as entrepreneurs, while men will be demonstrated as clients and punished through heavy taxation or regulation. Men will lose money, men will lose respect, and men will lose family stability. This is a trap being set, and I hope men can see this, because it might look like freedom, but what happens is it enslaves men further. And let me tell you something, as a man going to purchase or engage in business with a prostitute, you will not be celebrated. No, you will be shamed for doing it. But the woman who is selling that service will be celebrated and told to pay her tax. Brothers, don't be deceived by this whole word like tax reforms. Look deeper. What we are witnessing is the slow path to legalization of prostitution in Nigeria through taxation, through recognition and through public endorsement. If you remain silent, trust me, 10 years time from now, it will not only be legal, it will be promoted as a valid career. But then with that being said, remember guys, you can always reach out to me on WhatsApp, +234 703 4524 720. Let's have a good chat. Join my WhatsApp group. Let's make Nigerian men great again. It is what it is. I'm out.